Hello and welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to crochet the Mountain Trail Hooded Cowl. This hooded cowl is made in one piece, worked from the bottom up. And what's great about this is when you fold the cowl ribbed portion up inside, and then you're going to put it over your head like so. You could wear it like this, and you wanted to keep your face warm, you could just leave it up like this, but you could also fold that down. You can fold it back if you want a more open look. You could keep it, straight down if you wanted as well. It's so warm and cozy all in one piece. The hood is oversized, so this is going to fit most teens and adults. I'm using Premier Puzzle, which is a size 5 bulky. I'm using a size J crochet hook. And here I'm showing a blue, which is the colorway Jigsaw. Another great color. I have photos of this in Kickball colorway as well. You can find the free pattern on my website. I have a link below in the description if you'd want to head over and get that. Let's go ahead and get started. So to get started, we're going to chain 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Now we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain to the end. So single crochet in every chain. So I've worked a single crochet in every chain. I have a total of 26 stitches. I'm going to turn for row 2, chain 1. I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch, so at the base of my chain 1 under both loops. Now I'm going to be working a single crochet in every stitch, but I'm only going to be working in the back loop. Do not insert your hook under both loops. Insert your hook under the back loop only, the loop furthest away from you, and complete your single crochet. And you're going to work in the back loops only, working a single crochet in every stitch to the last stitch. So single crochet in the back loop of each stitch until we get to the last stitch. When we get to the last stitch, I'm going to be working under both loops of that last stitch and single crochet. Turn, and for rows 3 through 67, I'm going to repeat row 2. You can also measure. You can go until you get to approximately 20 inches, but for me that was 67 rows, repeating row 2. So chain 1, single crochet under both loops, single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch to the last stitch, and then work your final single crochet under both loops. And you're going to continue repeating that row through row 67 or until you have a measurement of approximately 20 inches. Once you've completed row 67, or you've measured the length and you're at approximately 20 inches long, you're going to fasten off, leaving a long tail for seaming this together. We're going to fold this together, get my long tail on my tapestry needle here, and I'm going to seam this together. So to start seaming these two ends together, I'm going to work my needle underneath the unused loop from my foundation chain and pull through. And then on my last row, I'm going to go ahead and work underneath the top facing loop there. And then across underneath the loop, and then the top front loop there, and keep going until we've seamed the whole thing together. Once you've seamed your cowl portion together, you can see on the other side, because of how I use just that one loop, you can't see where the seam is. It creates that same ridge on this side. So where I've seamed it is now the wrong side of my cowl, and I'm going to turn it to the right side to begin working on the hood. So with the right side of my cowl facing, join my yarn at the top edge into that seam with a slip stitch, chain 1. I'm going to restart my row numbers at row 1 and work a single crochet in that same space. And now I'm going to be working a round of single crochets evenly along this top edge. And evenly would mean 1 single crochet at the end of each single crochet row, which means I will have a total of 67 single crochet stitches at the end of this round because I worked 67 rows of ribbing. Where my single crochet rows are. So each one of these ridges is going to indicate there's 2 rows of single crochet. There's 1 row here and there's 1 row here. So I'm going to be working at the end of each of these single crochet rows evenly across that top edge. So once I've worked a single crochet evenly around the top edge, I have 67 stitches, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to the first stitch, and I'm going to fasten off. Fastened off. I would recommend at this point to go ahead and mark this as the right side, and that way you'll be able to keep track throughout the remainder of the pattern which side is your right side. For row 2, I'm going to start working on the wrong side. So I'm going to count over 33 stitches from my first single crochet of my edging here, and I'm going to place a stitch marker in that stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 31, 32, 33. Place a stitch marker in that stitch. And I'm going to be working from 2 different yarn cakes because I'm going to be switching back and forth, dropping my yarn and pulling in. So we're not going to be fastening off as we drop our yarn. We will just be dropping and then pulling back in. I'll show you how to do that. What I'm doing is I've chosen to use the same colorway. So these are 2 skeins of the same colorway. I know they look quite a bit different as you see them here, but it is truly the same colorway, even the same lot. And so what I'm going to be doing is continuing on with the skein that I've been using for the ribbing, and then I'm going to switch and start working with this cake. And the reason being is it will incorporate some additional interesting color work into my hood by switching back and forth in between those 2 skeins. Another thing that you could do is you could bring in a totally different colorway if you wanted to. So for row 2, I'm going to join my yarn in that marked stitch on the wrong side. And you could, if it makes it easier for you, you can push it down this way and then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, That chain 4 is going to count as my first double crochet plus a chain 1. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and just continue repeating that all the way around. And then when we get to the final 2 stitches, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the last stitch. And we're going to remove that stitch marker. We're not going to slip stitch join. I'm going to be working in turned rows, and at this point I'm going to change color. Now here's where we're going to be switching to our second cake or our second color, depending on what you're choosing to do. So you're going to not finish that last double crochet, leaving the last 2 loops on your hook and bringing in your second cake. So bring in that end, and we're going to pull it in to complete, pull through those last 2 loops to complete that double crochet. And now we're going to turn. We're not going to join. We're going to be working in turned rows that are not joined at the end. So go ahead and turn, chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch, the top of that last double crochet, and now we're going to be working in front of that chain 1 that we made, that last chain 1 space here. So I'm going to be working in that skip stitch that we skipped in that previous row, and I'm going to come down, insert my hook in front of that chain 1 and make a double crochet. Single crochet in the next stitch, which is the top of that double crochet, work a double crochet in the next skip stitch. So when we're working in front of that chain 1, we're going to come down into that skip stitch, inserting our hook, and we're going to come up in front of that chain 1, in front of our work, and then complete our double crochet. Single crochet in the top of that next double crochet stitch and repeat. Double crochet in the next skip stitch in front of the chain 1, single crochet in the top of the next stitch. And we're going to be repeating that all the way around. When we get to the end of that row, I'm going to have that chain 4 at the end. I'm going to double crochet in that skip stitch from the previous row, and then I'm going to work my last single crochet stitch in the top of that chain 3, because that counted as my chain 3 plus a chain 1 to complete. I'm not going to change colors here because I'm going to wait until I get back to where I dropped that color at the beginning of this row. So I'm going to turn, because remember we're not joining, we're going to turn and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and repeat around. So when I get to the end of that row, I've chained 1, skipped 1, I'm going to double crochet in that last stitch, but I'm not going to finish that final double crochet because here is where I dropped that color, and I'm going to now drop the one I'm working with and pull this one in to my work by yarning over and pulling through those final 2 loops to complete that double crochet. You can see that I've pulled this in There is a long yarn float here that runs along the side of my work. It's important that you don't pull too tightly on this. You don't want to bunch your work. You also don't want it to be really loose, which will make a gap. We're going to be covering these with an edging of single crochet, so you'll never see these in the final project. These will be worked over. So now I'm ready to turn again for the next row. And now I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch. And I'm going to be working in that skip stitch again, these skip stitches from the previous row, but now I'm going to be working behind that chain 1. So I'm going to be coming behind the chain 1, finding that skip stitch, inserting my hook, and then completing my double crochet. It might help you if you pull these down so you can get to that stitch easier, whatever works best for you. Single crochet in the top of the next stitch, double crochet in the next skipped stitch, single crochet in the next, double crochet in the next skipped stitch, single crochet in the next, and just repeat that on around. And we get to the end of the row. I'm working a double crochet in that skipped stitch, single crochet in the top of that chain 3, which is really a chain 4, so you're going to leave that one chain open at the top, and single crochet in that chain. And we're ready to turn. So for row 6, I'm going to go ahead and work a chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and continue. And when you get to the end of the row, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the last. Here I am at the end of the row where I've dropped my previous yarn cake, and I'm going to complete my double crochet by yarning over and pulling in that end and dropping the one that I was working on. So now we're going to be repeating rows 3 through 6. We're going to repeat those rows through row 35 or until you achieve the height that you desire for your hood. You're going to alternate working in front of and behind the chain 1 space, and we're going to be picking up our dropped yarn whenever we get to the end of the row where we've dropped it. So that'll always be your indicator. Whenever you get to the end of the row and you have that dropped yarn, you're going to pull that into your work for your last double crochet. So go ahead and continue working on through row 35. So after you've worked that final row, we're going to go ahead and fasten off. I've woven in all of my other ends, and I'm just going to leave a nice long length because I'm going to be sewing that last row at the top to create my hood. And then I fasten off, pull through, and I'm going to use that long length to seam the top edge of my hood. So get that long end on your tapestry needle. And we're going to fold the edges together. This is the right side, and I'm at the end here, and I'm going to be using the mattress stitch to join these two ends. So I'm just going to be working underneath the top 2 loops of each stitch, across from each other, working underneath the stitches, aligning my stitches with each other, and just working back and forth across. And working all the way to the end. So I've joined the whole top edge of my hood. I have just this stitch here left to go. And we want to make sure that hole is completely closed. And I have finished the top edge of my hood. You can now weave in this end. All right, so now I'm ready to cover the ends of those yarn floats that I have along the edge of the opening on the front side of my hood. Because remember, I pulled these in as I was changing colors, and I want to cover these up with a round of single crochet stitches. Now this is the right side, because I remember we placed a stitch marker to tell us which side was the right side of our hood, and I'm going to be joining from the wrong side. This is optional. You can do it from either side. The reason why I'm working my single crochet stitches on the wrong side of my hood is because I'm going to be folding. I want to be able to fold the edges of my hood, and then by folding it back, the right side or the front side of that single crochet would be on this side of my hood. If you don't want to fold yours back, then go ahead and start your single crochet round on the right side of your hood. I'm going to go ahead and work from the wrong side, and I'm going to be placing a stitch right here at the bottom edge of my hood. So join your yarn right in that bottom edge with a slip stitch, chain 1, and we're going to be working single crochet stitches evenly around this outside edge. So I'm just going to be working my single crochet stitches at the end, 1 at the end of every single crochet row, and 2 to 3 in the turning chains at the end of those double crochet rows. Just make sure that they're evenly spaced. You don't want a ruffled edge. Now when you get to the section of your hood where you have those yarn jogs running along your edge here, you're going to work into the stitches below the float. You don't want to work your stitch just around the float itself. You want to work into the stitch below it, and then your single crochet will work around the float to make it disappear. You'll never see it once you've worked your single crochet stitches around the yarn float. And so you're just going to continue doing that along that edge as well. Once you've worked all the way around that outside edge and you get back to the beginning, we're going to just slip stitch into that first stitch and then fasten off, weave in our ends. Our hood is complete. We can now fold back that edge if we want to wear. This gets folded up inside. And we've completed our hooded cowl. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thanks so much for being with me. As always, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss a new video. Thanks everyone. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.